Dear viewers, good afternoon. Welcome to CCTV program, the program of poverty alleviation in the villages. Today we are coming to Zhangzhuang village of Henan, Lankao, and I am going to be your reporter. Welcome you to follow us on CMG and the CCTV financial channel. As you could see here, this is our QR code on WeChat. Please scan the QR code, and on the app we have a special section for this program, and you can vote for your hometown. And you have 10 times of voting every day, so maybe with your vote, your hometown will be elected among these villages. Now I am in the plaza of Zhangzhuang village. For your information, today is a special festival. It's about awarding the people who have been taking care of their elderly people. They're making dumplings since it's noontime. It's approaching the end of this festival. And in the early morning, we have come here to see a lot of those staff workers making dumplings for those elderly people. Those elderly people could come here to have lunch for free, and also they could have a special date set for birthdays of those elderly people. Here, this gentleman is celebrating his birthday. How old are you? 73 years old. So every month, is there such a festival? Yes, one time per month. Have you enjoyed the dumplings? Yes. How about it? It's very delicious. Have you been living all your time in Zhangzhuang village? Yes. So as you said, this festival is celebrated every month. And what about the interior of those dumplings? Some of them are mushrooms, some are meat. Happy birthday. The celebration is begun. Every month in Lankao County, all the villages will award the civilized household, for example, the best mother-in-law, best daughter-in-law. That is a great honor in the village. And as you see, those award winners are wearing their medals and banners. And there will be a certificate. All the villagers will gather here to witness their granting, so that is a big festival. That's a group photo. Now they are starting to enjoy the dumplings. Such an event every month is a symbol of their pathway towards poverty alleviation, and also by gathering here, the villagers will get closer to each other by those small talks. And also on such events, there will be some representatives of those award winners, so we will interview some of them. Please follow me. We have invited the party secretary, Mr. Cai, of this village. How many times have you been attending such an event? 3 times. And how do you feel today? It's wonderful. Every month in our county, we have 454 villages, and they all hold such dumpling gatherings. So we gather all elderly people together, and we have some personal donation with volunteers, and those volunteers will come to make dumplings for the elderly people. The elderly people feel warm, like they're a big family. I hear that your county has gotten rid of poverty since 2017, so what changes have you witnessed? Our GDP registered at about 30 billion, and the income of our villagers has been averaged at about 13,000 RMB yuan. The environment has been improved, and our villagers are growing wealthier, and the caterers have more motivation in their work posts. So for the next step, we are going to march towards village rejuvenation. Do you have some special industries in Lankao? According to the instructions of Xi Jinping, we have to gather all of those resources in our village. For example, recycling economy and furniture, and we also have smart manufacturing to support our economy. After several years of poverty alleviation efforts, we have been taking industrious efforts to make breakthroughs in attracting investments, and we laid a solid foundation for the long-term development. We combine the first, second, and tertiary industries in order to have a complete industrial structure. So in the future village rejuvenation process, we hope to stabilize the income of our villagers, and more importantly, we hope to pave the way for industry development. Thank you. Today, you're awarding those villagers, and all of the 454 villages in your county have such an event. This must be someday to memorize. I hope that people have higher sense of attainment. Thank you for your time. Now let's interview those winners. What is the certificate about? Hi there. Could you introduce yourself? My name is Li Qiaomei. And could you please introduce to us about the certificate? What is the award you're getting? It's about growing wealthier with hard work. And what do you do? I work in the industry of clothes processing. What about the business over there? It's very good. How much do you earn per year? It's about 100,000 RMB yuan. That's very good. It's pretty good in the village. The villagers are growing wealthier. More people are living a better life. We would be willing to stay at home for more job opportunities because we can better take care of the children and the family. We don't have to migrate to the urban areas. How do you feel today getting the certificate? I'm quite excited, and I see you have been facing fierce competition. Exactly. This is the first time for you to get the award, right? Yes, and since you were granted by the party secretary, you must be very excited. Indeed, I am. I hope everything goes well with you and you get more certificates. So as we have learned, previously the villagers migrate to urban areas for work, but now with better economic development in the local village, they come back for entrepreneurship or more job opportunities. Now let's get more information. So you have finished your lunch. How do you find the dumplings? It's delicious. In the beginning, you have some performances to enjoy. How old are you, could I know? We are in 60s and 70s. So you attend such an event every month. How do you feel? Quite happy. And I see you have been talking with each other because we are happy. This morning, I was told by the locals that with the music on, the villagers will learn that the event is about to begin and they will start walking towards this plaza. Yes, we have a broadcast, a radio to give us the information. Thank you. Please enjoy your meal. Yeah, on the plaza, there are about a dozen of tables, and all the elderly people are wearing happy smiles. And we see a cake, a birthday cake. So this is your birthday as well, in the same month. Is that so? Can you hear me clearly? Are you celebrating your birthday in the same month? Yes. Are you enjoying the meal? Yes. Happy birthday to you. Please enjoy the cake. Help yourself. With our camera on them, the elderly people are still a little bit nervous, even though it's already a routine event for them. Now let's ask the volunteers making dumplings. They have been working very hard today. They're young people, and they are wearing the red clothes, the costumes, with the slogans volunteering for the civilized Lankao. They've been making dumplings for about 5 to 6 hours. Hi, are you a volunteer and a local? Yes, I am. How frequently do you come here? Once per month. What is inside the dumpling? It's including meat. So how many have you made? I didn't make the dumplings. I only prepared the dough, the flour. So do you have a division of labor? Actually, we could do whatever we can. I am making the dumpling wrapper. And we see a lot of shapes. Some are in the shape of a moon, because every person may have different habits of making different shapes of dumplings. So such a bowl of dumplings are made of charity and kind heart. Those dumplings look totally different from the ones on the next table. So this is your family's way of making dumplings. Yes. We come from Luoyang, so that's the traditional way in Luoyang. So you married here in this village? Yes. How many dumplings have you made? I have already made about 5 bowls of those vegetables, the stuffings. So you must be very tired. Please take a rest and enjoy your own dumplings. The elderly people are eating and enjoying the meal, and the younger ones are making the dumplings as volunteers. So that's the tradition, yes. The villagers have never stopped making dumplings. Those dumplings are filled with love, and because of such a meal, the villagers are growing closer and more intimate with each other. It's quite an interesting experience for me to come for this event. People have been very charitable, and that is the boiling place for the dumplings. There are 2 such big pots for boiling dumplings. It's quite cool today because of the clouds. If it's a very hot day or if there is bad weather, the event may be rescheduled. How many dumplings have you boiled? 12 pots. And how many people can you serve? 25 in 1 pot. So those dumplings are still not cooked. Yes. So are you a local village? I am a local caterer. And what about you? I am a volunteer. We have a chef here. This is quite a big pot. It's huge. It takes the entire food for this village. So this is about the dumpling meal. In Zhangzhuang, there are a lot of poverty alleviation stories. since this meal is approaching the end, and our pathway towards knowing more about Zhangzhuang village, we have more to tell. We have a main road in Zhangzhuang village. It's called Happiness Road, and on two sides of the road, there are a lot of stores and shops selling local specialties. For example, the self-made sausages and the local steamed buns. They're all sold as specialties to the tourists and visitors. That is their way of growing wealthier. And now we move on to learn more. I would love to introduce to you a guide who is going to accompany me. Please introduce yourself. My name is Zhang Yanfei, and I am a stationed team leader in Zhangzhuang village for the work of poverty alleviation. I hear about your name. Your team's name is about the team of walking towards a well-off society. What's your major job? We're like getting on the baton of poverty alleviation in order to create more wealth to the village. You serve as my guide today. You must be very familiar. How long have you been staying here? Over 3 years. So you must be walking a lot of times on this happiness road, millions of times. In the beginning, it didn't even look this way. So today, I am your guide so that you know the Zhangzhuang village I have been knowing for 3 years. It's not a long road. It's about 50 to 60 meters long. We will keep walking to learn more stories about Zhangzhuang. This is about agricultural products. It's the store selling all the agricultural products. For example, the steamed buns, the melon juice, and the sausages. Please, let's go in. My name is Pan Pan Pan. That's quite an interesting name. I'm selling the steamed buns. So the buns are specialties. It's handmade with traditional techniques. And what is this? This is the yeast. We use the melons to make yeast, and then we turn them into the buns. There are 18 different processes, all made with manual work. So this bun must be very delicious with this yeast. The yeast is made of melons and flour, and added by water, you make the buns. There is no additives. Let's see the other specialties. What about those? It's made of tofu. And those are the canned food. I know the famous Lankao melons. Yes, we have about tens of thousands of mu growing the melons, making job opportunities for 3,600 people. We have integrated the industrial chain, including the production, supply, and the distribution and sales. So we have a lot of industries related to the melons. And because of the melons, we triggered a lot of villagers to get rid of poverty. Yes, those are all agriculture products, processed products. Those products belong to the poverty alleviated products, and they are local specialties. What about this one? It's mushroom. It's cookies made of mushrooms. That's quite unique. So we have an integration of production, supply, and sales. So that is the juice, melon juice. A lot of stories about melons. Melons, yam, and peanuts are the three treasures in Lankao. If our viewers are not familiar with Lankao, we don't even know that Lankao is home to melons. Melons are quite delicious because of our environment. The melons are different here because they are very sweet and crispy. With your introduction, maybe our viewers are now yearning for the melons. So when are the melons on sale? They are already on sale. You will have a taste. Now let's take a seat. And let's invite our photographer in. So that's our buns. Since I'm a southerner, usually there are some stuffings in the buns. That's called baozi, not buns. It doesn't contain sugar, but it's sweet because the yeast is made of melons. Now enjoy the bun. It's quite fragrant. It comes from the flour. And there are several layers. When I was young, I peel one layer after another. And that's our chili sauce. What about the story of the chili sauce? It's also one of those products for poverty alleviation. We get orders and we plant the spice. We encourage the left-behind women and housewives to grow the chilies with the orders from growing to cultivation to sales. It's an entire process. I cannot wait to taste it. Is it very spicy? Not really. If you like spicy, we have the offering. We could meet multiple needs. It's a little bit spicy. If the sauce is good enough, you feel that the buns are not in full supply. That's our local slogan. Do you have any others? With the bun and the sauce, you keep enjoying the food. So usually you girls must be standing outside the shop to invite the visitors in with those slogans. Some of the sauce are made from watermelons. A lot of varieties. They are full of my childhood's memory. I was growing in a village, and my mother will make those steamed buns. And she cook the watermelon sauce to accompany the steamed buns. It's very delicious. What's the name of the sauce? It's called Shangri-La. You name it, yes, it's very interesting. I read the label, and you have a logo of this village. We want to maintain the local flavor. As you said, the sauce is one revenue source for the local village. From plantation to deep processing to e-commerce for sales, we have combined the different links together. As to plantation, we offered job opportunities for those housewives in the village. They are responsible for growing in their farmlands and they don't have to worry about sales. We will help them. How many households are you working with for the sauce? 359 households are growing the chilies. The total area is about 15,000 mu for chili growth. Every year, they earn about 30,000 to 40,000 RMB yuan just for chili growth. Yes, one agricultural product could help 350 households. As to deep processing, we could create more job opportunities. The left-behind housewives work in my factory for deep processing. They work full-time. And also they could take care of their children. How much do they earn per month? The minimum is 2,500 RMB yuan. That's fairly good. So the boss is offering opportunities for the housewives and families. At least they don't have to migrate to other places for money making. They could take care of their children. Their children could stay home to do their homework, and the mother could be devoted to their work. And also, we don't require high technologies in our factory. Everyone could get a hand on their job. From 18-year-old to the middle-aged woman, they could work in my factory. So that's what we learn about the story of a chili sauce. Particularly, they contributed to local employment. So such agricultural products support the shop owner and also the local villagers. There is a band here. Could you perform for us? We have invited a person in charge. Could you introduce to us about the music? There must be a story about the music. It's about Party Secretary Zhao, who took the lead in helping us making instruments. And those instruments are made of Chinese parasol. The parasols in Lankao are very famous. They are initially planted to prevent the sand. What about the size of the music industry? We have about 219 households working in this industry. There are 25 different posts. So now, are all of those music instruments made of Chinese parasols? Yes. There are the stringed instrument, the pipa, and erhu, all made of Lankao trees. So, what is the sales price of such an instrument like this pipa? It's about 3,000 to 4,000. Is it a high value-added industry? Yes. Will this industry grow bigger in the future? I believe so. Lankao intends to build itself into a township of music. We will invite more mentors to join us to create a brand for Lankao. I hope our local music could grow stronger. And as I have learned, the music has even gone international. Okay, my best wishes to you, the music industry made of the local express tree. Just now you have tasted the steamed buns and listened to the local music. Do you feel happy standing now on the happiness road? Yes, a lot of contents to be felt on this road. A college student created this shop. The shop owner registered for patents, like Meeting Lankao is his personal brand. Please have a taste. It's also handmade. So you're a college graduate. How old are you? 24. What hit you to return to your hometown for entrepreneurship? I studied e-commerce in my college. And e-commerce is already a saturated industry in the big cities, so it's quite difficult to survive. In order to extend the production chain in my village, I returned back. What do you sell? Yams. The dried yam. The glass noodles. The fresh yams. Dried yams, and so on. What about your revenue? It's meeting my expectation. Are you doing better than the villagers? I can only tell you that it's better than working in the urban areas because the average salary is about 5,000 in the urban areas. But with the big expenditure, we cannot retain much savings. But now I work in my hometown and I start up my own business. At the same time, I can take care of my family. That's why you don't regret coming back. You seem very excited. Yes, doing something you're interested in and earn money. I give my best wishes to your business. I hope more people could taste your yam. And also, I welcome your viewers to buy my products on the internet. After meeting the yams, let me take you to see one product made of yam. Could you take a guess? I can't do that. On the door, it says, "The happiness of sour." Could you imagine what is it? This household used to be poverty-stricken, but the family has a technique. That is to make vinegar from the yams. And they are the earliest family to start the business of vinegar made of yams. When did you get rid of poverty? In 2015. And the entire county got rid of the name of poverty in 2017, so you're earlier. What did you do before you got rid of poverty? We work in the urban areas as migrant workers. Now, we are trying to mobilize the other poverty-stricken families. So you employed those villagers, now you are the boss. How many villagers are working in your shop? 400. What's the good points about your vinegar? How do you make the vinegars from yams? We cook the yams, and the yams are made in the sandy soil. That's a special thing about Lankao. This vinegar is healthy. It can help to control the blood pressure. What's your annual income? 60 to 70,000 per month. What about before getting rid of poverty? It's several thousand, so 10 times more. So this is the couple. The boss is coming back. She's smiling. I know that when they're telling the stories of happiness, the smiles would not be the lie. After all, they could take care of their children and earn money. More industries are growing, are sprouting in Lankao, encouraging the locals to come back. The village is now able to retain the talents. That's the big change here. Next, let's see what are the other specialties in Zhangzhuang. Let's give the microphone to another reporter, Chen Peng. Good afternoon. I am now in Zhangzhuang village. This is a mushroom factory. You could see I am wearing the sterilized protective clothes. Those layers of shelves are for the growth of mushrooms. It's almost as high as a building. Now let's pick one mushroom. This is a dark-colored mushroom. It looks like the traditional mushrooms. And there are several features about it. It's very big in size. It's almost as big as my palm. It has thick meat, and it looks like a big hat, and it's also expensive, more expensive than the usual mushrooms. I will give you the numbers. And the third feature is that it has high nutrition. For example, it has a lot of proteins, the highest content of proteins in all the fungi. The fourth feature is that you could eat it directly without cooking. If you're interested, please come and taste it for yourself. You could smell the mushrooms added by the flavor of the soil. It's really delicious. The fifth feature of the mushroom is that it will fly on the airplanes every day because of the incessant orders from overseas. So with those information, you must be very interested in learning more. Now let's invite the party secretary in Zhangzhuang, Wang Xiaonan, to give us more. I've shared the advantages of the mushrooms, so there must be some reasons for that. For example, it must require the materials. We have two contents. One is the straws. With the enterprises joining us, we have more capability of gathering the straws, and also the feces from chickens. So with the straws and the chicken's feces, they are the organic fertilizer for the mushrooms, and there is no waste after the production of the mushrooms. It could help to improve the quality of the other agricultural products. I hear that this enterprise wasn't established in Zhangzhuang. So why did it come and choose Zhangzhuang? To improve the work of poverty alleviation, we attracted this enterprise. With this enterprise, what changes have been seen here? The most direct change is job opportunity. With one base, we can create 200 job opportunities, and 80% of them are for females. So you must have 60 of such rooms. Yes. This is one of your workers. Hello there. Are you a local? Yes. When did you work here? 2 years ago. What about your income? 4,000 RMB per month. The mushrooms are almost in similar sizes. Even though I picked one big mushroom, but I see there are different sizes of the mushrooms. Do you have any tips for picking mushrooms? I pick 8 to 9 inches. And you have a skill of picking them. You have to turn it around before you pick it up. So 8 to 9 inches. So now I can pick this one. Let's see. Oh, this one looks the similar size as yours. Thank you for your tip. So Madam Wang, with one enterprise, it solved the big problem of employment in Zhangzhuang. What's your goal next? We want to go beyond this. We have a total area of 300,000 square meters for growing vegetables. With an investment of 300,000 RMB yuan for the collective sales. What about this equipment? It's automatic. It's to adjust humidity and temperature in the rooms so that the mushrooms will have favorable environment for their growth. As you mentioned, it creates 200 job opportunities, and there are 60 of those rooms. So with such a big base, how many mushrooms can you produce per year? It's quite huge. In Zhangzhuang base, every day we could have a shipment of 20 tons, and it keeps going on for 365 days every year. This is mushroom producing enterprise, making a record in Zhangzhuang. So for the next step, what's your plan for diversified industries in Zhangzhuang? Industries require enterprises. Now we are seeking more partnerships, for example, new energy and deep processing. I think that Zhangzhuang will have a brighter future. So now we are coming out of the greenhouse to enter this exhibition hall. Those must be the processed products, all related to the mushrooms. Yes. This is Mr. Lee in our base. He will do the introduction. Just now, I have watched and visited the greenhouses in your enterprise. Could you introduce more about the processed products? Now, the majority of those products are fresh mushrooms. We sell a lot of the fresh mushrooms, and a minority of them are processed products in a lot of different varieties and shapes and types. For example, this is instant food, the noodles made of mushrooms, and cookies. So, what is the price? That must be the question in the minds of our viewers. It's 30 RMB per kilograms for the fresh mushrooms. But what about the processed products? For example, the crispy mushrooms is 12 RMB per package. So I can afford this price. Let's have a taste. It tastes good. I could taste the mushrooms, and it's very crispy. And our worker is boiling the noodles. The noodles are made of the mushroom. Have a try. Thank you. So the noodles are made of this mushroom. What's the process? We grind the mushrooms to juices, and we add no water in to make the noodles. Let me smell it first. Very strong flavor of mushrooms. It's yummy. Please boil more as my lunch. You are loading the fresh mushrooms. Where do you want to transport them? To Shenzhen. So every day for such customers buying your mushrooms, what's the number every day? We have a lot of those customers, and we have a balance between production and sales. Our enterprise is one of those enterprises belonging to the project of the vegetable basket, so we get government support. The export has been undermined by the coronavirus, so we are now exploring domestic markets, for example, new retail modes of sales. I hear that previously you rely on export, but now with the higher capacity of our consumers, with higher purchasing power and more diversified needs of products, you are enjoying a bright prospect in domestic market. That's why we're confident about our future in Chinese market. Thank you for your introduction. With just one little mushroom, we learned that it is a golden key to the wealthy future of Zhangzhuang village. It looks like a big hat from the front, and if it is put upside down, it's like a ball taking in gold. I believe with the government support like Madame Xiaonan, in the future Zhangzhuang village will have more of similar industries to settle down in Zhangzhuang village to diversify the local industries. And the villagers will grow wealthier, and they will certainly march towards the destination of a well-off society. Welcome back to the happiness road of Zhangzhuang village. Let's resume our one-day tour. Let's ask our guide about our next spot. This is the Handicraft workshop. Have you worn the cloth shoes? Never. When I was young, I was wearing the shoes made of cloth by my mother. They grind corns. After boiling the corn juice, they put them on the cloth, and then they use the cloth to make shoes. But I haven't worn cloth shoes for years. We buy shoes in the shops. We seldomly make them in our own home. And youngsters don't know how to make the cloth shoes, so it's mainly the elderly grannies making the shoes. The shop owner is waiting for us. Could you introduce to us? Welcome to Zhangzhuang Cloth Shoes. One thing about us is we have reformed the traditional technique of shoemaking. Previously, we used the abandoned clothing or cloth to make shoes. This is the shoe sole. It's half-made with our new technique. We add in the dried loofah so it could prevent the bad smells from our feet. And it has very good ventilation. What about the cost of the shoes? The cost has increased because of our change. For every shoes, that adds up another dozens of RMB in our cost. And I see that you have listed your cost on this board. With the transparency, I'm not fearing the others to know our cost. For every pair of shoes, most of the sales price have been returned back to the shoemakers. Those are in their 60s or 70s. Making shoes is their province. And what is your sales price? 40 RMB yuan per pair. By that calculation, it's like a non-profit business. You don't earn money. We seldomly earn. We basically want to return the sales price to the locals for poverty alleviation. Could you take one or two pairs for me to have a closer look? The traditional shoes are sold at about several hundred. Do they have good sales? Yes, they are. If you buy those shoes, it's like you're donating to the shoemakers. This is Zhangzhuang shoes, but not this one. No, those two are both our Zhangzhuang cloth shoes. What about the difference between the two pairs? Different soles. This is the traditional sole. It's flat. But now, with our reform, this is our special sole. You could see it is made of the core of the dates. Could you speak in local dialect? That's the pronunciation. And it's sounding quite similar to about making wealth. So that's the good fortune meaning of the soul. And the aunties are making cloth shoes. Do you come here every day? Yes, every day. I am responsible of putting the soles to the shoe. And she is making the sole. How much time does it take to finish one sole? 3 days for one pair. That's already satisfactory. Because I haven't made any money throughout my whole life. And now I could make money and toil on my farmland and take care of my family. I'm very happy because I haven't made any money before. How much money do you earn? 2,000 per month. I could make 2 pairs of shoes per day and they're sold at 80 RMB yuan. And sometimes I can make the shoes at my home. So you don't have to commute here for work, yes. And also I choose to come here because in winter you have the system of heating. Do you know how to make shoes when you were young? Yes. We make the shoes by ourselves when we were young because it's more comfortable. And my husband has been working in the plant, so he wears the shoes I made. We see the happy smiles on her because she hasn't made any money before, but now because of the local project, she's finally able to live on her own. The Zhangzhuang cloth shoes are offering job opportunities for the elderly in Zhangzhuang at over 50 years old. If they have to migrate to urban areas, they couldn't take care of their families because of the long time of outing. But now making the shoes, they could choose to stay at home or work here. It doesn't influence their daily lives like picking up their children or cooking for the family. It's more humanized. And I could smell the delicious food. So where are we going? What's the next stop? I'm feeling a little bit hungry. It's related to sesame. Are you the shop owner? Yes. Could you do the self-introduction? My name is Yan Chunpo. Could you take a seat for more introduction? Is this table prepared for us? I use my own sauce to make this meal. Cucumber, the local specialty vegetable, sesame, and oil. I haven't tasted this vegetable called jingjie. It's a little bit spicy. It tastes like mint. And what about the sesame oil and sesame salt? I made them. When I was young, we didn't have vegetables to eat, so we planted sesame and we put in some salt. You could also put them in noodles. Why is your shop so fragrant when I was passing by? Yes, all the people living in Happiness Road know my shop. I use the stones to grind the sesames to make oil. What about your business? It's doing well. You're quite humble. Every year I make like 100 to 200,000 RMB. I learned that you used to be a registered poverty-stricken household. Yes, that was in 2013, but in 2015 I got rid of the name. And in 2018, because of the local tourism industry, I am entering the business of agricultural products to sell to the visitors. Can I take more of your oil? The sesame oil. It's very delicious. What's the price? 40 for one bottle. It's not very cheap. It's costly because of the sesame. We have to use about 2.5 gin of sesame to make 1 gin of oil. We can mix the oil in the noodle, and that's our self-made sauce. A spicy sauce, soybean sauce, and this sauce is made of watermelons. That's quite unique. Is it the same thing in your hometown? Yes, because my hometown is very close to Lankao. Let's put them in. It's all self-made noodle. It's so delicious. I want to buy 2 bottles. And I hope your business will grow bigger. You're a local leader. Please take more people out of poverty and march towards a well of society. That's my goal this year. I want to take more villagers to do this business. And as you know, peanut oil is another pillar industry in Lankao. That's all my job. Okay, I will come back to buy some bottles of oil after the end of the live show. So everyone is working hard towards the building of a well of society. They have their own business. We have a lot of such entrepreneurial leaders like Zhangzhuang, and more youngsters are joining them. Zhangzhuang is raising chicken, and people used to say that he was smelly when he was raising chicken, but now since he's selling oil, he is fragrant. So the outlooks of the village has been transformed. Let's see more new outlooks of the village. This is Tonghua Bookstore.